everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.
Oh my God, it's people helping people!
Yes. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome. And if you don't know, my name is Alexander J., and we are people helping people. Thank you to everybody joining us. We've been going live every day for the last 28 days. Today marks day number 29, and we are doing a 30 live show and 30-day challenge. And, at the beginning of this, I was so nervous about bringing on guests, having good conversations, asking the right questions, and ensuring that I would bring value to the people that are watching. And I learned that I may not be the best conversationalist, and that's okay. But I am growing as this show is growing. I am becoming a better conversationalist. I am becoming better at asking the right questions in order to help people to open up and feel heard and seen. But gosh, I just want to thank everybody that's been a part of this journey. We, again, are on day number 29 of 30, which is unreal. This has been just such an incredible challenge, challenging myself, challenging my knowledge of equipment, challenging the wisdom that I want to share with the people. And yeah, it's been nothing short of amazing. And I couldn't have done it without the people tuning in, leaving comments, giving us feedback, asking incredible questions. And so, this one's for you. And the beautiful thing is, what we're doing right now, this is the beginning. I wanted to launch something that will have longevity. I wanted to pour the foundation and get so many reps in as quickly as I possibly could. So this 30 by 30 challenge was just that. Let me step into the realm of being a podcaster, full-fledged, head first, and see what happens. And I just think that first step, that first little nudge that I needed was sitting down because this has been an idea of mine for a really long time. And I thought that it was going to be much more, musician focused, but it kind of evolved. It evolved into the people as an umbrella of people helping people versus us just getting to know artists. But we do have a lane. In people helping people, it's about the business owners, it's about the musicians, and it's about the artists. So those three categories is that's our niche. That's our calling. And the reason I honed in on those three things was there's so many people in the world that have those passions. And I felt as though in order to make the greatest impact that I could, to make the best amount of content that's full of wisdom and inspiration, we put a face to those people. We put a face to the business owners. We put a face to the artist. We put a face to the musician. That way you get to know who they are. And so when you walk into that business downtown, you have an idea of the blood, sweat, and tears, the equity that was put into that business. And maybe they shared something with you that will give you some inspiration to do the same. So that's why we're here. And again, day 29 of 30. God dang, that feels good to say. That feels good to say. And if you weren't here on the last show, I broke down some of the crazy things that I've said throughout this whole thing. And I'm sure, my girlfriend Kayla's so sick of hearing my voice because I'm here, I'm talking for an hour straight. And then after the show, I'm watching the show back. And then after that, I'm editing clips. So it's just hours and hours and hours of just hearing me spew verbiage. So, but on the last show, I broke down some of the outlandish shit that I've said throughout this show. And that's kind of like, that's what's amazing about this being live and having this interaction with you guys as I'm doing it, is there's no going back. There's no editing. There's no, really, I mean, for me, there's not really anything that's pre-thought out. Like I do this by the seat of my pants. And maybe that will evolve over time, but I think that there's something to be said about going in with a blank slate, knowing that my purpose is to bring value. So I kind of, give it to a higher power in a sense. Give it to a higher power before I start each show, especially when I have a guest. When I'm solo, this is me just interacting with you guys and having a good time. But if I have a guest on, I give it to the higher power and say, let me be the curious being that I need to be. Let me ask the questions that allows them to feel heard and seen. Let me be the host that can articulate these questions in such a way that they feel calm, cool, collected. So that's what we're learning here, guys. And, as we continue, I become a better conversationalist. I become better at looking at a camera. I mean, this was nerve-wracking when I first started, and it still is. But, it was tough for me to get over that hurdle. But, as I said on the last one, it's about showing up. And, I've had shows here in the last 30 days where, I was sick, but I showed up. And, I've had hypoglycemic attacks as a diabetic, but I showed up. I've got Crohn's disease, which has been flaring up the past couple of weeks, but we've been showing up. And that's what it's all about. Putting your best foot forward, doing the best that you can, and only control the controllables, right? Because if things are out of your control and you're trying to control those, man, you're going to be a world of hurt. So control the controllables. We got some people popping in here. Let's say hello to the people. Again, we're on day number 29. We are killing it. And we got one day left, and it's going to be a huge finale, which I cannot wait. Magic Wood, my brother, welcome in. He says, "You've done great, Alex. Keep up the great work." Come on, man. That means so much. That means so much. I didn't expect to have this kind of response, to be honest. And to get flowers from somebody who's been watching us and, whether you know me or not in person, it's just been, man, I don't know. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. And I hope to just continue to grow. I hope for you guys to grow with me. I hope that you guys are taking something from all of this and maybe taking a step towards something that you want to achieve, because that's what this is all about. So thank you, Magic Wood, for the comment. I appreciate you, brother. And let's see, what else we got here? Up Left State of Mind podcast. Welcome in, brother. That's our boy Rizzle. Great question. What initially made you want to step into podcasting? Well, I would say that there was an initial kick that I had. For one, okay, so this goes back quite a ways. I've always felt like an outlier in my life. Everywhere that I've ever gone, there's very few people, very seldomly do I have a connection with someone. But when I do have that connection, it is such a deep connection. It's a brotherhood or best friend right out of the gates, because I'm a very deep talker. I don't like surface level shit, which made working in the oil field super hard when it was just pussy and dick jokes all day long. But I always gravitated towards deep conversations. and getting to know people. I just am genuinely curious. So to start podcasting, I opened up my home to a bunch of people. Well, to Facebook, I should say. I put an ad on Facebook. I was like, hey, I've got this studio at my house. If you want to come over and record music, if you want to shoot a podcast, if you want to, whatever it is, I've got the place. If you want to put on live shows and we can record it, cool. Basically posting, stating that I have this setup for people that, might want to dip their toes into it. And a guy by the name of Damien hit me up from 857 Tucson. Shout out Damien. He hit me up and he came over and we sat down and we just decided to jump onto his news outlet. He's got 857 Tucson is a news outlet here in the Tucson area. And so we were literally doing news stories. Like we're sitting here like this. And obviously we're having fun. We're having like collaborative conversation and a little bit of banter. But the reality is we're talking about like horrific stuff that's happening in Tucson. But it sparked something in me. And I'm like, the dream originally was to have this show just be for artists, musicians. But the podcast idea was to have them come in. We have a 10-minute segment where we just sit down and chop it up. And somebody can take this. If you want to run with this idea, I mean, that's the beauty of like the world in general is there's enough to go around. So I have no problem sharing these ideas and creative endeavors with you guys. But in any event, sit down, have a 10-minute segment so you get to know the artist. Then, since I've got the studio right here, then we sit down and film the creative process where we record a song together. Then they perform 1 to 2 songs that they've got down pat. So you get to know the artist, you get to know who they are as an individual, look behind the curtains, as we say. Then you get to see their creative process. How do they do their dubs? What is their writing like? And you get to see them in the studio firing away. Super cool. Then you get to see their live performance. So it's all 3 of those in one show. But I'm like, dang, man, I'm a business owner. I'm an artist and musician. And I feel like I want to open the doors to more people because there's so many people in the world that they're aspiring to do those things. So how can I inspire the most amount of people that are trying to better themselves in life? And that's how People Helping People was born. So thank you for that question, Up Left State of Mind. Thank you, Rizzle. I appreciate you. And Up Left State of Mind podcast also says, hit them likes. Come on. I always forget. Hit the like button, you guys. That does help us out. It helps get this, helps us get a better reach in the world. So, if you could do that, that'd be great. Let's see. Magic Wood says, I like that this podcast isn't centered around one genre or anything in particular. One of my favorite things is hearing from all the different kinds of people with different experiences and perspectives. Ooh. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I appreciate that you're enjoying it too. But the fact of the matter is, like, this just feels like a backdoor way to be able to sit down and learn from people. How often do you get to be mentored, right? So having a podcast or a platform where I get mentorship live and I get to share that with you guys, and through the mistakes that I've made too, like I get to share that with you guys. But there's so many, everybody that I've had on the podcast is smarter and more accomplished. And so I'm just grateful to be sitting next to them and be able to ask these questions, ask them the questions. Like if you could go back to your younger self and give yourself advice before starting this business, what would that look like? Whew. Come on. So that's what it's all about. Up Left State of Mind podcast says, that's a dope idea, bro. Maybe a segment within this pod. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So when we do have artists on, I would like to try and implement that. The thing is, live would be tough. Live would be tough. I thought live would be tough here too, though. So I don't think that it is impossible. There would have to just be a lot of prep work. Like this is a lot of prep work as it is. I got to break down these I got to put up these lights before every show. I got to make sure my soundboard's connected. I got an HDMI running to my TV screen here. Make sure this main lighting is on. We got a good backdrop going. Whatever. Mics are checked. And then after the show, I got to break it all down. So I would imagine that if we had artists on and we're recording, we would have to have the song ready, make sure that they're ready to record that song so they have it down pat and ready to go. And then also have a live stage set up. So live would be like boom, boom, boom. It would be crazy. It would be cool though. And shout out to Rizzle, dude, because he did jump on the pod and hit me up and was like, dude, I want to start or reignite my podcast, Uplift State of Mind podcast. And, I watched his show and it's so cool because he's really niched down to mental health. And, as somebody that has experience in that, to be sitting there with that form of mentorship from somebody who, you're never through the woods when it comes to mental health. It's a constant. So with having that connection with somebody where you can openly speak about those type of topics, my hat's off to you, brother. So if you're not subscribed to Uplift State of Mind podcast, go check him out. Shout out, Wizard. Oh, I didn't even read the next comment yet. He says right there, you inspired me to chase a dream I've had for years. Thanks, brother. Come on, man. Thank you. It's comments like that, that's why we're here. That's why we're here on this planet. That's why we are one, is to share our experience and hope that it inspires others. So, yeah, that really does mean a lot, man. And I just hope that as I continue to do this, and I just can't wait to hear the stories of somebody taking the leap to start a business. I can't wait to hear the stories of somebody taking the leap to start recording music or fine-tuning their craft because of something that they heard from somebody we had on the show. Or an artist that's been painting for years and didn't know how to do the social media side of things. I've got a list of guests that we're going to be having on the show that can share that type of wisdom with you guys. So I am in awe that this is having an impact, and I love that there's a ripple effect, and I know that it's just going to continue to do so, because if I inspired you to start Uplift State of Mind podcast, or at least reignite it, then the people that are tuning into that, somebody might get inspired to do something of their own, and it's just this whole domino effect. It's a snowball, and so I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful, and I just love the fact that I come on here and show how human beings can be human beings. We're not always perfect, and I don't always say the right things, and I definitely am not the most articulate sometimes, but we're getting better. And I can look back on the old podcast and tell you right now, we're getting better, as I can't even say the word podcast, but it's been fun. Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah, Magic Wood says, yeah, I still got to get over there and check it out. Uplift says, thank you for the sub. Awesome. Well, we appreciate everybody jumping in. So as we're doing this, you guys, I want to do a little bit of a recap, because tomorrow, like I said, it is our last day of 30 by 30. Crazy. We made it. This was the launch, and it was so successful in so many ways, and we learned so much. And so tomorrow is the last day of the 30 by 30, and then we're going to start a schedule. We're going to give myself a little bit of my own life and time back by having a schedule set where you guys can see us, 2-3 times a week, and we can curate the show properly to where we have good guests on for you. We have great questioning. We have good premises, and really, turn it up a notch. We're going to turn it up a notch. So, but prior to getting to our finale tomorrow, the finale is going to be dope. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm going to start tomorrow's show at 4 p.m. and I'm going to go until I can't go anymore. I'm thinking that might be midnight. I'm not sure. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's say 10 to midnight. We're going to go and go and go. And we're going to contact every single guest that has been on the show. I've already reached out to most of them. There's a couple that I still need to talk to and get confirmation from. But it seems as though people get off work around 5 o'clock. So I want to work with that. I want to have the most amount of guests on this show as possible and catch up with them and thank them. Thank them for being a part of what we're building here. They helped to pour the foundation of people helping people. So they deserve their flowers. And so tomorrow we're going to make that work. We're going to make it happen. And I don't know how I'm going to talk for that long. I don't know how I'm going to keep the show going for that long, but we are going to do our damnedest. So, you can just put us on in the background. Pop in every now and again if you got something you want to say or whatever, But it's going to be a freaking marathon. So we've done our sprint. But tonight, you guys, what I'm going to do is reminisce on our episodes. We're going to reminisce on the 30 by 30 just by going through and going back to day one of our 30 by 30 and the guests that we've had on. And I want to highlight the things that I took from those interviews, not only to remind myself, but there's such amazing nuggets from each of those interviews that really stood out to me. And I feel as though, these nuggets, these bits of wisdom or love or mindsets or skills, whatever it was, I'm going to reiterate them. I'm going to reiterate them to myself and reiterate them to you guys. So this is going to be a very wisdom-packed show. I just want to make sure that we are going back to the right videos at the beginning of our 30 by 30. So I'm just popping on YouTube here. We're checking things out. And I think, okay, so this was before the 30 by 30. Okay. Let's see. And, I wasn't very good at titling too then. I'm looking at my titles. And I didn't even mention the 30 by 30 in the titles in the beginning. So that's going to make it a little difficult to track. But that's okay. We are learning. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? If you're just joining us, thank you guys. God dang, man. Thank you guys. I see your boy B. Salute, brother. Welcome in, freaking legend. And yeah, again, we're going to be diving into our old shows. And I'm going to tell you guys my favorite part about it. I'm going to tell you my favorite part about that show and the thing that I took from it. So I think the first one I want to talk about, and this is a really interesting conversation that I had. We sat down with Aphina Zoe. That's APHYNAZOE. Aphina Zoe is a licensed psilocybin coach. So what that means is she watches people while they take a hero dose of mushrooms and helps them break through trauma, helps them to rewire their brain to love more, be less critical, or whatever it is that person goes in there with the intent to solve. She's there to help guide. And the stories were crazy, crazy. So Afina Zoe and I had an in-depth conversation, and she's located there in Oregon. So if you're watching here from Oregon, you can go and actually have that. You can have that psilocybin coach. You can have Afina Zoe guide you to a better being a more enlightened human being. So I think what I took from that episode that I thought was really cool was, for one, it's legalized in Oregon. So you can sit down with a coach like her, and she takes you into these like magical places. There's like 2 weeks of buildup. So you have your intentions, how you would want to feel after. And so it's not just like you go chill and eat a bunch of mushrooms and trip real quick. No, there's homework. So it's very calculated. She takes you into these beautiful places, and you down what's called a hero dose of mushrooms. And she guides you through whatever blockage that you have in your life, whatever traumas that you have in your life, to find fulfillment and new enlightenment and rewire your brain to this new higher self. Whew. So cool. So if you missed that episode, go check it out with Afina Zoe. It was epic. Epic. So huge shout out to Afina Zoe. We love you. Thank you for being a part of our journey here as we continue to grow. And I mean, she's the definition of people helping people, right? So let's see. Who else we got here? Jeffrey Vanderveer. Phew, man. That's my uncle. And if you have not seen the episodes with Jeffrey Vanderveer, he is one of the most wise, well-spoken, charismatic, respectful, loving individuals. Like, he's somebody you can look up to. If you need a hero, you need somebody to look up to, go watch those episodes with Jeffrey Vanderveer. And it's tough for me to touch on which topics that we discussed because I let him choose at random. I say, hey, you want to be on the show? He says, hell yeah, let's run it. And then I just let him run with whatever topic he wants to discuss. So if you guys just want a good listen, I mean, he is an incredible listen. So huge shout out to Jeffrey Vanderveer. Thank you. And him and I have discussed as we move forward past this 30 by 30, and we have a scheduled time that everybody sits down and say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. He'll be on with a 10-minute segment once or twice a week. So that'll be great. And he's just going to spew some wisdom for us, you know. So huge shout out. This episode was really incredible. We had David Castillo on. And I met David Castillo right after I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Him and I, we hit it off right out of the gates. Sorry, guys, I got caught up reading some comments here, and I'll touch on those in just a moment. But we hit it off right out the gates. I think I had, my CGM, my Dexcom sensor on my arm. And I was out and about. I don't drink, but I was out and about. We were dancing, having fun, whatever. And he points me out. And he's like, hey, you're a diabetic? And I'm like, yeah, barely. I'm still learning. And he's like, dude, me too. I'm like, oh, cool. So we just started talking shop right there. We're diet buddies for life. And he came on to the show and shared his story. There were tears that were shed. There were a lot of laughs shared between the two of us. And, we both left that conversation with a deeper understanding of the hardship of being a type 1 diabetic has on not just the individual, but a family as well. And it was just extremely insightful. And, I think one of the main takeaways from that was we talked about fear of looking weak as a man who has diabetes. And this was really interesting because I always felt alone on this. You know, when you have a hypoglycemic attack, you have low blood sugars, it's debilitating. You start to sweat. You can have, you know, you're either really hot or really cold, you're sweating, and your cognitive function goes out the window. So all of a sudden, you can't have a conversation anymore. You need to go lay down. You need to find juice. And it can be really scary because you can pass out. You know, you can go into coma. Like, there's a lot of really dangerous parts of having a hypoglycemic attack. But as a man going through life, having these moments happen to you when you have type 1 diabetes, it was the thing that we connected on that episode was the fear of feeling less than, I guess, in a sense. In social moments and environments, for example, let's say that I'm at an event, and it's a networking event to a degree, right? There's maybe new people around, and there's good music playing, and people are drinking and having fun, and then all of a sudden your alarm goes off on your controller. So the alarm starts going off, and you start to feel this lightheadedness, and you start to sweat a little. But you're in the middle of an amazing conversation with someone. It's so tough to just be like, hey, I'm a diabetic. I need to go drink juice or whatever. And I don't know why. Maybe because I was diagnosed so late at 28 years old that it was really tough to just be like, okay, now I don't drink. Now I'm a diabetic. I don't know how to be social anymore in these types of situations. So it was difficult. But to hear him relate to that and realize that it's not weakness when you need a moment. And we both came to that conclusion. It was really reassuring to me to just reiterate that. It's those affirmations. Those affirmations are so important that I'm not weak because of my ailment. You know, and yeah, so that conversation was really good. If you missed it, go listen to the conversation that I'd had with David Castillo. Shout out to David Castillo, and thank you for helping us build up People Helping People as we sit here on the 29th of 30 days of 30 live shows. We love you, brother. I'm going to jump into the comments real quick. We got a couple people jumping in. Victoria Ward, what up? My sister. What's up? She says, she also travels to people. Okay, so we were talking about Afina-Zo. If you're just joining us, psilocybin coach, where it's legalized in Oregon, and you take a hero dose and you have breakthroughs and rewire your brain to, find this new love or enlightenment. And apparently she travels to people as well. So if you're interested in something like that, go to that episode and we plug where you can find her. It's a great episode. Thank you for that clarification, Victoria. I love you. And if you're watching on anything other than YouTube, what you doing? What you doing? Go over to YouTube. Go over to YouTube. Help us over there. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. I'm bad with calls to action, but there we go. We're getting better. Hit the thumbs up and help us with our watch time over there. Let's see. Let's go back over here and see who else we got. Because we got an amazing list of individuals. Let's see. Oh, cool. Yeah, so we had Damien from 857 Tucson on as well. And if you missed the beginning of this, I just shouted out Damien, man, because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't the push of Damien and I sitting down kind of doing the newscaster style stuff, you know? We were sitting here and talking about whatever's going on in the streets of Tucson, which was fun. It was fun. And he also allowed me to go live on his 857 Tucson page, which, maybe some of you found me from there. So huge shout out to Damien from 857 Tucson. We love you. And he's going to be a part of the event that we're throwing. So I'm really looking forward to that event, and huge shout out to Damien from 857 Tucson. Also, yeah, while we're on that topic, if you want to start a show, if you want to start a podcast, Damien's hosting people to start their own shows in Tucson. So he's got a Facebook following of like 18,000 people, I believe, with like 7 to 9 million views per month or per week. Is it a week? I think it's a week. It's a lot. But if you want to start a podcast or a show, it can be anything. Hit up Damien, because he wants to have people on his platform and give them the promotion that they deserve to get started. So huge shout out to Damien. Let's see. Kayla Coffee Studios. If you're unfamiliar, my beautiful girlfriend, she's incredible. And what's really cool about what we're doing right now, I'm going through all the old guests, right? And so she came onto the show. What's really cool about what we're doing right now, and I know I'm going to look back on this moment for the rest of my life, when I had a household that's just full of studios and full of people that are bouncing ideas off of each other, and we're all trying new things and figuring out algorithms, and really what it's boiled down to, like, we know our art and our craft. Every single one of us is trying to figure out social media. So as we're continuing to grow and figure these things out, we're bouncing ideas off of each other. Hey, this didn't work. Retention dropped here. This titling, I changed the title here, and that equated to this. And so it's so cool to have a team. And Kayla has been the best teammate that a man could ask for. We sit down and we talk about our goals. We sit down and see how we can be helpful to one another in the best way possible. Like, how I ask the question, how do you like to be helped? Because I know how I like to be helped, but that's not for everybody. So, and also this is the first relationship I've had in freaking 7 or 8 years. So I didn't even know how to be in a relationship, and I'm learning, but it starts with asking the right questions. So, and that's what makes what we're doing special. So huge shout out to Kayla Coffee. I love you, baby. You really do give me hope that this world that we live in has still got beautiful people in it. And this show gives me that too, because all these people that are leaving comments and being involved and that are sitting down for interviews, like I'm flabbergasted. I'm just in awe with the amount of love and wisdom and in the pride that people carry in their work, and the pride that they carry in the struggle. Like, who doesn't want to talk about the shit they had to eat in order to get to the point to where they're at? People just look at the end result. People just see the end result and think, well, I could do that. Maybe you can, but let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So anyways, huge shout out to Kayla Coffee. Obviously I have ADD brain, right? And then I did a whole episode. So this next episode I did was completely breaking down how I completely broke down. This whole episode was really tough to get through. Because 28, I was for anybody that may not know, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and Crohn's disease. Those two in conjunction almost took my life multiple times. And I'm very lucky to be here. So I don't want to go too deep into it right now, but that was a very emotional episode. There was a lot of things in that episode that I didn't ever want to think about again. And opening up that memory bank was like heart pounding. It was, after that show, I almost immediately went to bed because I was just exhausted. It was emotionally, it fucked me up. But if you want to watch that, if you want to watch me, be all emotional, go over to the episode of how type 1 how type 1 diabetes and Crohn's almost took my life is what it's called. And then let's see, who else did we have on? We had so many good guests. Ooh, yes. The type 1 diabadass, Amanda's Mission. Amanda's mission to empower type 1 diabetics, the type 1 diabetic community. Amanda Cardenas. Come on. She's so good. She's so good. She embodies and embraces everything that people helping people is here to achieve. Like, she's out there doing it. And we had a long, drawn out, amazing conversation about everything type 1 diabetes. She is an advocate for type 1 diabetes. She just got back from Camp ASDA, AZDA. And what Camp ASDA is a camp for kids to go for a week where every single person there is a type 1 diabetic. So these kids realize that they're not alone. All the camp counselors are type 1 diabetics. All the staff are type 1 diabetics. And she first went 24 years ago, realizing that she's not alone in the world because she was diagnosed at 7 years old. That conversation was absolutely incredible. And she incorporates type 1 diabetes in her life in so many ways because she's a real estate agent as well. And so she plays on the type 1 diet and leans on it for comedic relief because she's just an incredible person who enjoys, shedding light on a bad situation, as most people would feel. So huge shout out to Amanda Cardenas for being a part of People Helping People growing, helping us pour the foundation and turning us on to these amazing nonprofits and camps and things that are advocating for people that may be hindered or hurt or stricken by something as severe as type 1 diabetes. So shout out, Amanda. We love you. Thank you. So good. And for anybody that's just joining us, we are on day 29 of 30. Ooh, feels good. Feels so good. 30 live shows in 30 days. And we are reminiscing on the past right now. We are reminiscing on all the guests that we had on the show. And I'm pulling my favorite moments from those shows and talking about it. I'm talking about the wisdom that deserves to be reiterated. You know, I'm reminding myself of the wisdom that they brought into our lives. And the next episode that we have is Teresa Vandavia. Ooh. She's so good. Incredible artist, incredible visionary, incredible woman who's incredibly inspiring. Teresa Vandavia, I am lucky enough to have within my family. She is my aunt. And she is just... I just feel as though there are certain people in the world who would be the person to organize these missions to conquer something. And they're the people that you look to when you have questions or doubts. And I feel like she is the one to undoubtedly lead the charge. And we sat down and we talked about her art and how she put herself in positions, surrounded herself with people that were smarter, with people that were in the vicinity of the things that she wanted to achieve at a very young age. It was really inspiring to hear how she moved to New York to follow these dreams and then came back to California to put these dreams to the test. She then went and said that she would scrub the toilets, sweep the floors, make the coffees, do all the grunt work, all the work that nobody wanted to do in order to be surrounded by the people that she wanted to be. So inspiring. And so she did just that. She started working at I believe it was one of these big studios. I wish I could recall the name of it. But she started working at one of these big studios, just doing the worst work that you could possibly do, but asking questions and surrounding herself by people in the industry that she wanted to break into. And she did just that. So shout out. Shout out Teresa Vanderveer. We love you. And thank you so much for being a part of us here at People Helping People, pouring the foundation of what we're about to do. And this is just the beginning. And we appreciate you being a part of that. So that was an incredible story of hers. And I am just grateful that we got to hear it. We have it on wax now. We got it on wax. And so I think, the moral of that story is if there are things that you want to achieve in life, put yourself in positions in order to be able to be surrounded by the people that are doing things you want to do. Come on. They say if you hang out at a barber shop for long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. So it's that same that same mentality, right? Let's see. Who do we got? Who else we got? Let's go ahead and see who all's in here right now. Hey, who's in here? Raise your hands, people. I want to see you. Go ahead and leave us a comment. I want to open the door to open up some communication with you guys out there. Let's see. Upleft State of Mind podcast says that's where my first interview with you was. That 857 channel. Was it really? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it was so cool, man. It was so cool that he allowed us to be able to utilize his channel. And again, if you guys want to start a podcast, shout out to 857 Tucson. Hit up Damien over there. But yeah, let me know who all's in here. Show me some love. Jeffy's in the house. Welcome in, Jeffy. We love you. And he gives us a wave. Hello, Jeffy. Hello, hello. You check this out, though. Can y'all see this? People helping people with a handshake. Dude, Penny and Benny has been slaying the merch. Just every day he's got something new for me to put on. He believes in the show. We believe in him. It's just a beautiful thing. And yeah, gosh, I want to get closer to the mic, but I don't want to leave you guys without audio for that long. But anyways, this is the People Helping People logo. It's dope. Just a couple of hands with a little starburst behind it. And yeah, he made me the shirt. It feels a little ASMR. So good. So good. All right. Let's see. Let's jump into another episode to reminisce on and pull some nuggets from what we remember, what we learned. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. This is a good one. This is a good one. Ya boy B. Yes, sir. And if you guys missed that one, that was an incredible interview with your boy B. And, he is such a talented artist. There's something to be said about his God-given voice and using that tool to make music. And I'm just so grateful that not only is he from where I'm from in Oregon and our paths intertwined in life, but he has been producing music for so long. And I say producing as in he is a producer of music. So he does the hip hop, he does the singing, he's diving more into his R&B era and intertwining every single skill that he's learned along the way into a new album, which is coming out soon. So if you guys missed that interview with your boy B, and he's out here in the chat right now, my guy. If you guys missed that interview with your boy B, go check it out. Go check it out. It's so good. Just get to know him a little better, and he's starting a catering business. So he's going back to his, his culinary love and starting a business out of it. And so just a lot of nuggets, and we stayed on the topic of music that show and ended up having technical difficulties, but it's a great interview. So your boy B, huge shout out. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for helping us to pour the foundation and giving people love, wisdom, and all the knowledge and amazing music that you gave to us, my friend. We appreciate you, man. All right. And your boy B, great question. Great question. He's asking, Let's see here. Oh, sorry. I just exited out. Okay, there we go. Great question, your boy B. He asks, what's next for people helping people after 30 and 30, the 30 by 30? That is a fantastic question. And, what's going to be next is much more fine-tuned and curated shows. Right now, it's been by the seat of my pants every single day, hoping that I can just convey what I want to convey and bring value the way I want to bring value. But we will have a scheduled show. So it will either be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, maybe Monday, Friday. I have not figured that out yet, but we're going to get the best guests that we possibly can for those shows and make sure that, we're bringing the most amount of value as possible. So that is what is next for people helping people. And I also want it to be more so on the road, right? I really love having this set up at the house. Don't get me wrong. But, I want to be able to go to places like we did at T-Town Boxing or Kayla Coffee Studios and just bring the gear, set it up, and be in people's places of business. It'd be dope. So that is what is next for people helping people. And we are going to be putting on events. We are going to be, just expanding and making the biggest impact that we can. But we're not stopping. So that's exciting. Let's see. Oh, Rich is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich, welcome in. He's a legend. He is a legend, and he is here. And Rich, we shipped out your shirt. Rich won a shirt a few streams ago as a part of the 30 by 30 just for being active in the chat. He's been here. He showed up. He's been communicative. He's asked amazing questions, gave us amazing feedback. And so we picked him to be a merchandise winner. So this logo, backwards. This logo right here is just massive on the back of a t-shirt. So super cool. People Helping People t-shirt is in the mail. And we're also going to be sending his wife one as well. So we really appreciate you being here, Rich. Hey, Tanner Surratt, my guy. What's up, George? Love you, brother. I'm glad you made it. And we're on day number 29. For anybody that doesn't know, day number 29 of 30. And we are reminiscing on the good wisdom that everybody has left us over the last 30 days. It has been a fuel-filled 30 days of just knowledge and wisdom. Let's see, episode 16. This was a really good one because we had a supermodel on the show, Annetta Gludite. And oh gosh. All right. You know what? I'm not going to try that again. Annetta. We'll just say that. She is a friend of mine from Greece. Supermodel. She is full-time Instagram content creator. We decided the name influencer wasn't for her, but she's amassed tens of thousands of, six figures in the following category across her platforms. And she's worked for some of the biggest companies in the world as a full-time model. And we sat down and it was a pre-recorded show. So I had to be on here at 11 a.m. and that was her 9 p.m. So we had a pre-recorded show and we just had an incredible conversation. I learned a lot from her when it came to taking social media full time because she's been doing it for like 6 years now. And she explained to me that once you decide that you're going to do social media, you have to be all in. You have to be 100%. And I was like, oh man, I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like we are all in on People Helping People, but I also have another business that I'm running. So it's like, I think the other business, eventually I'll be able to delegate to others. But as of right now, I'm running both full-fledged. So that was a really interesting nugget, you know. And another thing that she said that kind of struck me was taking all the good and bad that comes your way. And she says to turn lead into gold. So no matter what it is that comes across your plate, and thank you, Aneta, by the way, thank you for being a part of this. But what she had said was turning lead into gold, right? So whatever comes across your plate, even though it may feel hard, it may feel heavy, it may feel hurtful. You know, it may bring you down to a certain place that you don't want to be. But when you realize that all of those things that cross your plate are the building blocks to who you are today, and as you do triumph over those things, you can then turn and share that wisdom with others. So if you have traumatic events that had happened in your life, there's somebody else that's on the brink of having that same thing happen and sharing that information with them. And she shared that with us. And she shared so much of what it was to, you know, do what she does full time. And we really appreciate you, Aneta. Thank you for being a part of People Helping People and building this foundation as we sit here on day 29 of 30 live shows in 30 days. We love you. Man, it feels good. It feels good to give these people their flowers and reminisce on the amazing information and wisdom that they shared with us. So, gosh, man. It feels so good. The next show that we had was our boy, Penny and Benny. Well, it was our boy, Benny, but the owner of Penny and Benny LLC. And he's been representing us since day one. We have been representing him since day one, and that's not going to stop. That is not going to stop. You know, and we had an incredible conversation as well. Our conversation, what I took from that, you know, we talked about so many different things, and that's what was great about, you know, talking to the business owners, because it's not just finite. It's not just a single track, you know, conversation. There's so many different avenues of what it takes to own a business, and depending on the lane and, sorry, squirrel brain. But we sat down and we talked about the gosh, I'm trying to think of the right way to put this to you guys. We talked about self-talk, okay? We talked about how self-talk is just as important as what you say to the people around you. And because of this mindset of how important self-talk is, and him reminding himself to have good self-talk, and me having that conversation with him and feeling the same, like, this is a great conversation to have. Like, I need to chill out, you know, when I am being hard on myself. Just take a deep breath and just know that I need to give myself some grace. And so he started a whole clothing line as a gentle reminder to the people around you to give yourself grace. It's called Words of Comfort. And I think it's an amazing thing, because not only are you wearing something that gives off energy, that has an exuding energy, whether it be positive or negative, but this shirt in particular is to be that gentle reminder to the people around you to give yourself some grace. And he's got so many others within that clothing line, Words of Comfort, that really stuck with me. And I think it's really cool to be able to walk around the world, not only seeing yourself wear it, you look down and maybe that nasty dialogue's running around, and you look down and you're like, oh yeah, need to chill. Need to take a deep breath. So huge shout out to Penny and Benny. If you guys want to check out his clothing line, go to pennyandbenny.com. Go to pennyandbenny.com. Send him a message on Instagram if you want, Penny and Benny LLC, and tell him People Helping People sent you. because again, you know, I've seen him go through every different type of shirt to find the best fabric that he can find, every single type of shirt to find the best fit that he can find. And I wouldn't sit here representing if I wasn't just stoked that these shirts are what they are. So go hit him up. And he also helps workshop stuff too. So if you have a logo idea, hit him up. Bounce ideas back and forth. He'll help you with branding too. So, you know, he's the guy. So shout out to Penny and Benny for helping people. That was a mouthful. For helping people get to where we're at today. Thank you for helping us pour the foundation of people helping people on our journey to the 30 by 30. We love you. Feels good. Giving flowers feels good. God dang. And I wouldn't be able to give these flowers if these people didn't rock. You know, I really feel like everybody we've had involved thus far has just been solid, so good. But yeah, let's pop into another episode here. This one is, okay, so this was the first time that we did the off-site shoot. Really interesting. We went to T-Town Boxing, who is a proud sponsor of the show. We are a proud representative of. We went to the boxing gym. And if you go watch this episode, you'll see that door behind us, there's people in the ring throwing ones and twos and, you know, getting after it. So that was a really fun episode. I didn't know how it would turn out. We were really just throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. And that episode stuck. It was so fun. And luckily, these mics drowned out enough of that noise so that we weren't just completely, you know, having audio issues. So that was great. And Jake and I sat down and we learned about who he was because he opened a boxing gym here in Tucson. He trains me personally. And he just is such a good guy, you know? And so we dove into his life and how he also, being from Oregon, utilized boxing as a vehicle out of all the situations that could have been, out of drug abuse, out of alcoholism, out of street fighting, and always had that safety net of boxing because all those things, especially in Oregon, run so deep. I've lost so many friends to hard drugs in that lifestyle. And so to hear somebody else who was from the same area say, you know what, boxing saved my life. It was always the safety net. I was like, man, what a story that he had. And it inspired, and he's like, what if I can give this to other people? Whew. Come on. What if I can give that safety net to the people in the community? What if I can be the person that gets to train them and guide them along the way so they don't make the same mistakes that I made? And I can teach them of, 25, 30 years of boxing experience, how to be good and not learn bad habits right out the gates. And so he did that. He did that well. And his story, too, was so interesting because he started in the midst of COVID. Everybody was on lockdown. He wanted to start a gym, but he started a boxing fitness class outside where people had to be 6 feet apart or whatever the fuck it was. People were outside and he was just teaching them 1, 2, 3, 4, doing all these things with a group. And then the group grew. So it started with like 5 people. And then the next day it was like 10 people. And then all of a sudden he's got 25 people outside boxing. And he's like, I got to do something about this. So he started a business, man. He started T-Town Boxing. And he's been flourishing ever since. And he's just a great guy. He's a great guy. He actually just rented one of my vehicles to go to a fight in San Diego, which is always cool when my people call me up and they're like, hey, I need a car. You got me? I'm like, psh, gotcha. But huge shout out to Jake Wilson of T-Town Boxing. Go follow them on Instagram.com/T-Town Boxing or the website boxingtucson.com if you're in the area and you want to go hit some mitts and learn a new skill. And so huge shout out to them. We love you and thank you for being a part of building and pouring the foundation of people helping people. We love you, baby. This is beginning to feel like an awards ceremony, you know, like these highlight reels. All these people like brought so much into my life and have brought so much to my audience, and just so grateful, man. So grateful. Let's get into the comments here. If you're out there, just say hello. What up? Let me know who you are, where you're from, what you got going on. And if you have any questions too, hit me with some questions because I'll be answering all of them. So let's see. Let's see here. Rich says, would like to say thank you to all of your guests. I've taken something from each one. Thank you, Rich. And absolutely, it makes me feel so good. Like, you know, Rizzle was just on here and he said that, you know, I inspired him to rekindle his old podcast, a mental health podcast. And like I was saying before, it's like that ripple effect is fucking crazy. Excuse my French. I know I'm cussing a lot on this one, but I'm passionate. I'm inspired. I'm excited. Like we're almost there. We're doing it. And you know, so let's go show our support and love for Upleft State of Mind. But yeah, I mean, that's really what just keeps me going is when, you know, and Jake Wilson from T-Town Boxing wants to start his own podcast now. And when people get off the show and feel so inspired that they want to do their own thing and start something, I am just like flabbergasted. I'm in awe. Like that is the dream. That is the mission. That's the goal. And we're doing it. We're doing it. And we're just starting out. That's what's crazy. So huge shout out to all the guests that have been here. And I'm so thankful, man. So thankful. This next episode that we're going to be talking about, you guys, this guy is one of the most wild characters I've ever met in my life. His name is Joe Dreams. Live your dreams. Yeah, you got to live Joe Dreams. He is somebody that I ran into on a motorcycle ride from Tucson to Oregon. And I saw him standing. So I'm staying at this little hostel. It's called the Beach Bungalow in San Diego. Cool spot. If you're in San Diego, go to the Beach Bungalow. I'm staying there and I'm walking down right next to the beach there, close to the pier. And I see this dude in like a full suit and he's standing on top of this golden speaker and he's just dancing and pointing at the people and freestyling for them. And, one thing that stuck with me, I mean, he calls himself Joe Dreams and don't forget the Z, but, he'd be pointing at people. Hey, you with the purse? Are you living Joe Dreams? Hey, you with the hat? Are you living Joe Dreams? And I kind of just thought it was like a shtick. You know, I thought that he just loved being out there and was trying to make some money and like, good on you, good hustle. This is great. You're doing good, man. Then we sat down and talked. And my whole perspective on Joe Dreams did a 180. He said that after high school, he got so involved in self-help books, the Tony Robbins, the Robert T. Kiyosaki's, tons of them, right? He went down a laundry list. He got so involved in self-help that when he was trying to give people books and advice and literature, it just fell on deaf ears. He goes, you know what? I have always loved hip hop. I have always resonated with that. It's been something that resonated with me, and it appeals to the masses. He says, like, what if I was the Tony Robbins of hip hop? What if I was the self-help hip hop artist? Whew. Come on. It just blew my mind. He's like, I found a need and found a purpose and found a calling that people needed to hear this message to live Joe dreams. So good. It's so good. I was just blown away. I was blown away. So that is his whole thing. And he's amassed hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. And he just stands on a box and just tells people to live Joe dreams. And he's like, in a perfect world, everybody, or in his eyes, everybody would be living Joe dreams. I was like, man, that is a special individual. And he found a need and he found a solution. And he is creating the solution as we speak. So huge shout out to Joe Dreams. Thank you so much for being a huge portion of what People Helping People is building. And thank you, because without that block, that pour of the foundation, we wouldn't be as wise prior to that conversation as we are today. So thank you, Joe Dreams. And if you don't follow him on Instagram, you should, because he is a hilarious person to follow. He's such a character. Joe Dreams, Joedream, and don't forget the Z. So when I say that and you watch his videos on Instagram, you'll understand why. And don't forget the Z. That's our brother. Thank you, Joe Dreams. We appreciate you, man. Let's see what else we got. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode was so good for so many reasons. And it was our brother, a fellow musician, a fellow artist, hip-hop, lyrical, singing mastermind, who goes by the name of Cody Nash. Man, and did we have an in-depth conversation? He has lived the last 15 years being a caregiver, being in service of others. And if my sis is still listening, she knows what that looks like. Her and I grew up with a stint of our childhood, grew up in a home where the bottom half of our house was a home for developmentally disabled adults, and we lived in the top portion of the house. So we saw that firsthand and know how taxing that can be. And if you don't have a sense of humor about those types of things and that line of work, it can be impossible. So huge shout out to what Cody Nash does and is doing. But he shared so much with us. I took so much from that podcast. He told me that, he shared some really heartfelt, deep things that were going on in his life. And he came out with a project recently called For William. If you guys need new music, if you guys need a new artist to listen to, if you're just tired of running through the same old things, go listen to Cody Nash's For William. He took care of his father before he passed. He said, you know what? I've been a caregiver for the better half of my life. And my father is in a situation where he needs one. There's nobody better equipped to take care of this man than myself. A very noble thing to do for a loved one who is about to graduate life. And what he shared with us was that it was not like caregiving for anybody. You know, he said that he had to go through so much that he wasn't used to when it comes to a family member is so taxing. And my hat is off to you, Cody, for taking on that that endeavor. And he did, though. He took it on. He took it on, and all the struggles and everything. He took it on the chin, and then had like this 6-track EP that he was going to put out for his pops. And he's like, man, this is sad. Like, I don't want to just put out 6 tracks of just sad music. So he went back to work. He went back to work in the studio, and he started recording things that he thought that his pops would love. So that whole album For William by Cody Nash on Spotify is for his father. And man, you know, Cody Nash, shout out to you, and thank you for sharing your story. We got to know him better as an individual. We got to know him better as an artist. And we thank you for being a part of People Helping People in the beginning phases of building out this amazing platform where we can share love, wisdom, and encourage people to make a difference wherever it is they are. So thank you again, Cody Nash. We love you. Man. And I just love going through these because I get to re-inspire myself by just reliving these conversations. And it's so cool to just dive back into those moments with these people that I've shared and that we've shared. Next, my little sister, Victoria Ward. I don't know if she's still out there listening, but talk about somebody who has triumphed through so many trials and tribulations in life. You know, I never knew how much inspiration and encouragement and knowledge that I would get from my little sister over the years. And I look up to her in so many ways. You know, she's so positive. She's full of so much love. And I was so grateful to be able to sit down and have a conversation with her on the show and showcase the type of, and we really had like a formal like interview, you know. I was putting on my formal interview suit for my, God, I've been talking for 29 days straight for an hour a day, so give me a break. But I put on my formal interview suit, and she's still in the chat. Yes, what up, sister? But yeah, so we had an interview because she created a product, and she and myself are like these crazy serial entrepreneurs, right? We have all these ideas, and it's really hard to hone in on something sometimes when you just want to keep evolving and growing and trying new things. And she finally boiled it down to this product because I've seen it throughout my whole life. She's so into health and personal care and honoring the temple that is our body. So she came onto the show and she shared her product with us. And I wonder if I can just put her product on the screen here. Let's see. Hey, sis, why don't you show me or let the people know in the comments where they can reach you? I don't know if it'll let you share a link, but you can at least share with the people where they can reach you. But she was showcasing her skin product, and it's 100% natural ingredients that she tested on her own super sensitive skin one by one. For an entire month, she would try one product or one ingredient, try it out, make sure she doesn't break out, let it go through the test of time. Then the next ingredient, same thing, go through the test of time. And so she concocted something that is 100% natural, organic, and really is just an incredible skin product. So I'm really proud of you, sis, and I just love you to death, and I appreciate you for making me the most proud uncle in the world. And I hope that this show allows us to be together more often, because she's in Oregon, I'm in Tucson. So I'm just trying to build something out to where I can see my family more and we can all be together again. So anyways, this is me out here filling my cup, being selfish for a moment in life to be able to wait until that cup's overflowing to be able to help more. So I love you, sis. Victoria Ward, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for being an important part of where we're at today with people helping people. Truly amazing. Man, I'm just so grateful. This is, I'm trying not to get all emotional about this stuff, right? Like, this is just, I don't know. I just feel like we're doing something. Like, it feels good to know that we're really making headway and we're really impacting people and we're really inspiring. Like, it's just so good. It's so good. And I'm looking at all these here. Let's talk about Rizzle Music, ladies and gentlemen. We touched on Rizzle Music, but he's in the house, and dude, legend. He graced us with an incredible conversation. He graced us with such a good conversation about so many different topics, and these are the types of people that I love. Rizzle is the person or the type of person that I love having conversations with. And it's somebody who isn't surface level. It's somebody who's not scared to have the conversations that are hard and exploit the things that make us human. And it just really was inspiring. I remember getting done with that interview and just feeling good, man, feeling good. And he got to sit here and talk about the things that meant so much to him. And I got to feel what it was that he wanted to convey. I got to feel that message firsthand, and you guys did too. So if you guys missed that interview, go watch the interview with Rizzle and myself. We talked a lot about mental health. And I think that, especially in this world that we live in, we have this, the world of comparison, right? With social media and everything else. The comparison is the thief of joy. And a lot of that can fold in on itself and make individuals have bad self-talk, doubling back to Penny and Benny's episode. Giving yourself a little grace in these moments that they feel weak, or that you feel fear, or that you're not at your best, and knowing that it's okay. It's okay that everybody goes through that, and really just opening up the conversation to that. But one thing I took from that episode, and I remember specifically thinking how impactful it was, Rizzle and I were talking about how important it is to just have these conversations, to have someone to talk to. And not everybody does. And that's a hard truth. Not everybody has somebody to talk to. And I sit here knowing that, I've always felt as though I never had somebody to talk to, just because I am a crazy person who doesn't like to open up, when I know that anybody and everybody around me would answer the phone and let me vent. But it was a great thing to cover. It was a great conversation to be had, and topic to discuss in depth. And what it boiled down to was, if you are struggling mentally, if you're in a position or place in your life where things feel as though maybe they're caving in, and there's that recurring segment in your head, these wires are playing this scene on repeat inside your own mind that are negative, it can snowball quickly. It can bring you down to a certain level where depression can sink in, and a lot of other types of mental illnesses can sink in because of this negativity that runs on repeat inside your mind. And Rizzle was on here and he was advocating for talking to somebody, whether it be somebody around you, a family member. Reach out. If you're in that position where that negative thought pattern is on repeat and you feel helpless, reach out, make a call. If you don't have anybody, find a therapist, because you don't know the questions that you need to be asked until they're asked. And sometimes just talking about the issues that you have help you to get through those moments. So thank you so much, Rizzle Music, for sharing so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and being vulnerable with us here on the show, and opening up the line of communication to advocate for other men and women alike to have those conversations. So shout out to Rizzle, and go check out his podcast too. Rizzle, we appreciate you, brother, and thank you for everything that you did to help people helping people and pouring this foundation. Let's see. I'm going to tap into the comments real quick. Rich, man, you're such a legend. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, just tap the thumbs up, man. We're doing something here, and if we can't do it without your support. So those calls to action, I'm getting better at it. Tap that thumbs up or the heart, whatever platform that you're on. If you can do so, it does help us out. It helps push this video out to more people. And the more people that we have on here, the more insightful conversations that we can have. And it broadens our horizons to have different guests on. We want people from all walks of life on the show. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Let's see. Okay, let's dive into another episode here. Oh, this one was really fun. KK. This was an interesting one. I didn't really know going into the stream how I was going to talk to somebody about nails. Like we're going to talk business, right? Talk shop. And so we can do that. We can dive into that. But my girlfriend was getting her nails done at her nail tech's house, her place of work, her business. And this was a great episode. People helping people with KK. She was such a spunky, fun, just vibrant person. And we discussed so many different avenues, so many different things when it came to having conversations with people, because one of the questions that I asked was, did you realize that you were going to be a therapist before starting to be a nail tech? Because Kayla's in there for 4 hours. 4 hours getting her nails done. And they come out like freaking works of art, So I just imagine the conversations that she's having with all these people that are funneling through. And, she's shared a lot of insight with us. She asked I asked her essentially if she could give herself some advice, go back to the day before she started this business and give herself some advice to make herself better. What would you do? She paused for a moment and she said, start sooner. Just do it. Just do it. I feel like that so many times in my life with the people around me that I love and appreciate. And they've got these great ideas. They've got these it's just like, fucking do it, man. Just do it. Like, whether you're an artist, a musician, business, whatever, just go do it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be learning lessons along the way. And there's no such thing as failure when you're learning, right? I mean, I don't think there's really such thing as learning without failure. You got to experience it. And she said that. She's like, I wish I would have started sooner. And I'm like, man, that is so good. That is so good. And then she flipped the script on me, because if you don't follow her on Instagram, I wish I had her Instagram right here to be able to share with you guys. But she started doing like podcast style stuff where she would ask the girls that she's doing the nails for, she would ask them like girl talk questions. And I was like, well, let's flip the script. Go ahead, ask me. And she goes, okay, well, they're going to be juicy. I'm like, well, let's, all right, you know what? Let's get into the juice. So we did. And she asked me what my red flags are. And I was like, oh boy. And Kayla's right there too. So I was like, well, maybe you should ask Kayla. She goes, no. Don't you get out of this one. You gotta answer, and then we'll confirm with Kayla. So I did. I answered. And I said that my red flag was accepting love. That's my red flag. I've got an issue accepting love. And come to find out, that's pretty common, which I didn't know. So it made me feel pretty good that that's a common thing. I'm not good at allowing people to love me. And then if they do, I'm wondering why. It's just some weird, I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyways, that's my red flag. And she asked me that. We dove a little bit deeper into it. It was pretty insightful. But huge shout out to KK. Her actual name is Michaela, but huge shout out to KK. We had an incredible conversation over there. It was really good to, get me out of my comfort zone and see if I can hold it down with a nail tech, And she also does permanent jewelry, which I did not even know what that meant before we started the show. I thought that it was like dermals or something where you get things implanted. But no, she like welds on sterling silver or gold jewelry. So you have it on you forever. I'm like, that just makes sense. Why didn't I do that a long time ago? So huge shout out to KK for being a part of the People Helping People journey. And you are one of the essential building blocks to what we are doing today. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you for giving us your time, your wisdom, your knowledge. This one's for you. Feels good. Feels good. So let's see who else we got up in here. You know what? That was it. That was all the people that we had on the show, except for, okay, so this one was fun too, because Kayla joined another episode with us. And this one's called People Helping People, Kayla Coffey's Art Comeback in the Necromancer series. So Kayla and I, building businesses together, we are really trying to find a good balance when we're doing this, right? A good balance of health, a good balance of being on our phones, which we have to do in this beginning portion of this. The social media aspect is, so we're trugging along. But yeah, we're trying to find balance. And in that episode, we really broke down like what our relationship looks like and the roles that we play for one another and how she's the yin to my yang and, balancing relationship with work and finding how those two things can be married. And they don't have to look like they're on separate sides of what we're trying to do. So we have common goals and we're building together. So that episode was super fun. And she introduced her Necromancer series, which Necromancer means bringing things back from the dead. So she had a moment in her life where she shared with us where she was like just so emotional all the time. She was going to work and every little thing would make her cry and she didn't understand why. There was something that was just weighing on her so heavy. There was this emotional baggage all the time. And all these little things were just getting to her, just piercing her. And she found out that she had a brain tumor. And since then has started medication and, she's not on the other side of that yet. But it was just such a big moment of relief to understand that it was screwing up her hormones so bad that she couldn't function as a human being anymore. So she's been on medication and she's doing a lot better now. And I'm here to support her every step of the way that I can. You know, I think that she is such an incredible artist, and she started the Necromancer series, which is incredible, and bringing things back from the dead. So all of her old, she used to pour paint with all these different colors, and everything is vibrant. It kind of looks like what's behind us here. She poured paint onto these canvases with all these different colors, and just the way it laid was the way it stayed. And so she's taking all of those pieces and putting gold leaf and really beautiful landscapes over the top of the old pieces that she has made. So that's where Necromancer series came into play. She's bringing back all her old artwork and bringing it back to life. So it was really amazing. Shout out Kayla Coffee. I love you. And I'm excited for what we are doing. We've been hitting the gym every day, getting our workouts in, and she's got me on a split now. She's so stinking organized, and I'm not. So it's a good balance, but dang, am I sore. And she works out her booty a lot. So she calls me the dump truck now because my booty's getting, crazy. There's like 2 booty workouts a week, and I never worked out my booty. I'd do squats, and if it works it out, it works it out. But anyways, it's been fun. So huge shout out to Kayla Coffee for being not only a part of People Helping People as a show, but for being my rock throughout this whole endeavor. And I have never been more excited to share something with someone before in my whole life. And we're running the car rental agency together, and she's so all in on everything, and I know that she knows that if she follows the lead and just is there to support, we're going to fucking win. And it feels so good. So shout out, baby. I love you. And yeah, this one's for you. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. I mean, we're already an hour and 36 minutes deep. Tomorrow, do not miss the show. It'll sound something like this. I just like to press buttons, but we're going to be live pretty much all freaking day. Okay. I'm going to have a marathon stream, a marathon podcast where we bring back all of the guests that we just talked about today. We're going to have them have a segment of the show. I will be going live at 4:00, and I probably will not stop until, who knows, the crack of dawn. But I'm not going to stop tomorrow. So, I mean, I'm an hour and a half deep, and we're already slurring up our words. So this is going to be interesting. But yeah, just tune in. You can put it on in the background. Just listen. If you want to chime in with some comments or some questions, hit us with those. And we will be checking back with every single guest that we've had on the show if they can make it. So this has been day 29 of 30 live shows in 30 days. And this is just the beginning. So thank you all for being a part of People Helping People. And thank you for being here and showing your support and love. And I just am so excited to bring you guys what I've got in store for you. So without further ado, I'm going to call it a night. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Deuces.
Yeah. What's everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.